All right, good afternoon. I should say good morning, everybody. This is the Fantasy Sports Boss, Fantasy Football Week 3, which already got underway this past Thursday with the Buffalo Bills knocking off the Miami Dolphins, fully underway today. The injury report for the 1 o'clock games coming out. Juwan Jennings was listed as questionable coming into this week. He is out for the 49ers today, as is quarterback Brock Purdy, as the 49ers continue to deal with all sorts of injuries there. Adrian Martinez will back up Mac Jones, so that's one of the early news items coming out for the injury report here. So again, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because there'll be a lot of videos today. As always, injuries a major factor. Jaden Daniels not playing today. No J.J. McCarthy today. No Joe Burrow. And really, that's kind of the best place to start. When it comes to week 3, is that the NFL really can't be too thrilled with the fact that already 2 of their top 5 or 4 quarterbacks overall are out injured, and it's only week 3, and one of them could be out for a long time, right? So Joe Burrow, they say 3 months. Some people have said that's a little overly optimistic timeline, and that he'll be out more likely like 3.5, maybe even 4 months. So it could be a completely washed season for Burrow, and really no sense in bringing him back if the Bengals are not competitive as well, if they're out of the running for a playoff spot. And then, of course, J.J. McCarthy, who, 7 of his 8 quarters through his first 2 starts were disastrous. Jaden Daniels, who does not have an MCL injury. That's decent news there. Marcus Mariota is getting the start today. And if you really are in a pinch, Mariota is not a bad option, considering his ability to run the football, and they have a soft matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. But again, Carson Wentz in from Minnesota. It's just the injuries all up and down the NFL, in particular, like I said, the quarterback position and the tight end position. Now, Tucker Kraft is active. Tyler Warren also will play today, so that's good news. But the tight end position has been ravaged by injuries. And what's really interesting, too, is that the running back position has been probably the most healthy position out of the 4, right? And that's not usually the case. Running back, just being a running back, the high incident of injury makes investing in running backs early in the draft, a very risky proposition. Emeka Egbuka is active today, as we said earlier in that video that I did earlier in the day. But so, and even last year, the running back position, at least, overall, the top, most of the top guys wound up staying healthy. So, that's not something that we see every season. As a matter of fact, we went through that stretch from like 2000, 2010, all the way up until like 2020, where running backs were just getting injured left and right. And, hey, Steve, how are you? Just constant injury issues at the position. But so far, it's been the most stable of all the positions. So hopefully today, but like always, there will be injuries. There's always injuries, no matter, what week it is. And, we'll have it all covered for you today. But so the Cam Scatterboo video that I did this morning definitely got a lot of attention, had over 400 views within a couple of minutes. And that's because, for me, I do think tonight he's going to take that starting running back spot and literally run with it. And he's got that overall receiving, running combo that's going to make him a force in PPR leagues right off the bat. Steve, you definitely play Ricky Pearsall, who's been really good the first 2 weeks anyway. I would still have him in there no matter what. Hey, M. John, Ridley, Connor, start one, AMR Golden, Henderson, Tillman, and Benson. Probably would go Tillman. He's had a nose for the end zone so far this season, even going back to last year. So I would probably go with him. Kenneth Walker, Jordan Mason. I'm going Jordan Mason there, even though Walker is coming off a good game. Evans or Adunze. I'm picking Adunze. Evans has Sauce Gardner today. And Gardner this season, as opposed to the last couple of years, he's allowed to shadow his opponent, his primary coverage assignment throughout the field. Like last year, he was kind of just staying on one side of the field. This year, he's staying, he completely locked up DK Metcalf in the opener, and he's going to trail Mike Evans all over the field today. So Caleb or Patty? I think Caleb Williams is going to have a big game. As a matter of fact, that Cowboys-Bears game, two of the worst defenses in the NFL. I think there's going to be a shootout, ton of points, you name it. I think there's going to be a lot of points in that game. Caleb Williams and Dak Prescott should be started liberally everywhere. My two choices of two are Ricky, Keenan, Ramondre, DJ Moore. Well, you're playing Keenan for sure. I would play Ricky as well, Steve. I'm not, DJ Moore has been surpassed right now, at least to this point, by Rome Odunze. I don't think there's any question. The results are there. Odunze has been really, really good. He's developed a nice rapport with Caleb Williams. Warren, Swift, Pickens, Pollard can start two. Definitely Keenan Allen. I'm definitely starting Keenan Allen. And I would start Pickens too, because I think it's going to be a lot of points. Go, hey, James, Etienne and Garrett Wilson in the flex. Etienne. Etienne is operating as like a bell cow back. So, and he's been one of the values of the season. Like Etienne was drafted very late in a lot of leagues because of Tank Bigsby and Bishal Tootin. So he's been unbelievable. Like this looks like rookie season Travis Etienne. Last couple of years were a little tough because of all the injuries. If Bourne will get targeted a lot, Mac Jones threw a lot to him. Scott, Mac Jones. I think Bourne. I wouldn't use him. I would try to do better than that. He always has potential. He's proven he could be a decent player in this league. Flex 2, Hendy, Hampton, Franklin, Tootin, Golden. God, the rookie backs have been so bad. I would probably go Franklin and Hampton. Do I sit Ibuka? No. Don't sit Ibuka. I think he's good to go. And again, Mike Evans is going to be dealing with Sauce Gardner. I think Ibuka is going to score today, and he's going to have a big game. AJ Frankie, I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to say that. You think PS2 is going to be on the QBJ the whole time? Pat Surtain, I think that I don't know if he's going to be on him the whole time. I really actually think he's going to be on Ladd McConkey more. Do you think Henderson could get the start today? Listen, Henderson was overdrafted. I don't think there's any question about it. Like he's basically every rookie running back, whether it's Hampton, Henderson, even Jeanty, my God, late first round pick, early second round pick. He's been terrible, really not through all the fault of his own because the coaching staff is just not giving him the opportunity. 11 carries last week. This is a guy that you used a early first round pick on, and you're not feeding him. Like, I don't understand that. As far as Henderson, Ramondre Stevenson's a decent player. I knew he wasn't going to go away completely. I did think Henderson would be used a lot more. But it just hasn't happened yet. And maybe they're just, he was lauded for his pass protection in college. He has struggled a little bit in the NFL with that so far. And that's what's keeping RJ Harvey off the field as well for the Broncos. He's been deplorable in pass protection. And not for nothing, J.K. Dobbins, when he's on the field, going back the last couple of years, whether it's the Ravens or the Chargers, he's been really productive. What do you do between Gainwell and Calvin Austin? I would go Calvin Austin. I don't like Gainwell. He's going to get 2 catches, 2 carries for 10 yards. But at least Calvin Austin has a chance to do something here. And DK Metcalf's another one. He's been very disappointing for me. Aaron Rodgers definitely looked his age last week. And I know for me, for my 3 teams going into this week, I'm 2-0, 1-1, and 1-1. So 2-0, 1-1, and 1-1. Those are my 3 leagues. And I've been dealing with a lot of injuries, as I'm sure you guys have as well. I don't know, Steve. He's not going to be on Keenan. I can't see that. I think, certainly Ladd McConkey, who's at the X spot, would have a much better chance of having Patrick Surtain on him than Keenan Allen in the slot. And that's another big storyline that really hasn't been spoken about too much. The uncanny chemistry that Keenan Allen has with Justin Herbert. It's already manifesting itself the first 2 weeks of the season. Allen back in the fold, back with his old running mate there, Herbert. They're rekindling that chemistry that they had, during Allen's first stint with the team, where he was a PPR cheat code, and it's taking a little bit of steam out of that McConkey, because McConkey working as the outside X is just more difficult catches to make, less percentage, throws completed, being out wide, and very, not as many gimmies like Allen's going to get in short yardage there. Keenan off waivers. Yeah, Keenan off waivers was a good one. This is one of my all-time favorite players. You all know that. Keenan Allen right up there with, certainly James Conner and Lamar Jackson is my all-time favorites. QB's hurt and trying to decide between Stroud or picking up and starting Russ. Yeah, I had picked up Trevor Lawrence. I had the same situation. I lost Joe Burrow. I picked up Trevor Lawrence. And then I have to be honest with you, I went outside the box. I dropped Lawrence and I picked up Marcus Mariota. And I hate the matchup for Lawrence today. The Texans defense is really good. I just hate the matchup. I know he's coming off a 3-touchdown game, but Lawrence has still been mistake prone. And I think Mariota just, running the football, he's got a really easy matchup against the Raiders. And he's been useful when Mariota's gotten the start the last couple of years. He's been useful for the Commanders. He's put a decent amount of points. So I think Mariota, certainly is where it's starting for sure. I would not. I mean, Russell Wilson against the Chiefs, you could do that. They're sending Wan'Dale Robinson deep with Malik Neighbors, so that is an option there. Russell Wilson, but I wouldn't. I don't trust Wilson. Let's just put it that way. Lost JD going over Mariota. Goff over Mariota. Yeah, I mean, you could do that. The Ravens haven't exactly lit it up defensively. And Jared Goff, when he has time in a pocket, he could take apart any defense. So as long as they're giving him adequate protection, then I think, Jared Goff can certainly be useful today. But yeah, so, like I said, I think, and here's the other thing, talking about Russell Wilson, there are rumors, and I'm here in New York, so I hear a lot of this, that if Wilson plays poorly today in the Giants tonight and the Giants lose, Jackson Dart could start next week. And I've said this already. Jackson Dart will overnight be a top 12 guy in fantasy football. He runs quite often at a high rate. He's a very impactful runner, played really good in the preseason. I think he's got that dual threat game that will make him a top 12 quarterback in fantasy as soon as he hits the field, which could come as soon as next week. All right. I mean, the Giants just have a hellacious schedule. Certainly the opportunity could be there for him to play next week. If they do lose to the Chiefs and listen, I can't even imagine the Chiefs being 0-3. So, and next week, the Giants play the Chargers, which again is not an easy matchup, but then they have New Orleans the following week. They could maybe wait an extra week and give them a softer landing spot against New Orleans in week 5. But then the Giants play the Eagles and the Broncos and the Eagles again, like just really, really tough. Tough matchups there for sure. Does Mariota throws to the tight end a lot. Zach Ertz is a good play this week. I don't think there's any question. I think Zach Ertz is somebody that Mariota is going to throw a lot to today. I actually would downgrade Terry McLaurin. And, Deebo Samuel, I think, is going to be used at a decent clip today. But Tucker Kraft is playing. So is Tyler Warren. So if you were holding stock on Zach Ertz, I don't think you need to play him today. Now, I'm really curious to see what goes on with the Cincinnati Bengals today. Chase Brown's got to get his season on track. He has not been good. He seems like he's lacking the burst that he had last year. They're going to run it more now in the red zone. I don't think there's any question. Jamar Chase, I think he'll be fine with Jake Browning. It's T. Higgins, who I think is going to see a big drop in his value, with Burrow being out. And how criminal is it of this Bengals organization that they just cannot keep Joe Burrow healthy? Like, that's now 3 serious injuries and I believe 6 seasons with the team, which is just ridiculous. Totally inexcusable by this organization that they just cannot put a offensive line in front of this team, in front of this quarterback. Pick 2, Hollywood Brown, Pacheco, Scatterbo and Brown. I don't think Hollywood Brown is as good as he was week 1. I think he's better than he showed week 2. I think Scatterbo, and again, he's available in about 30% of your leagues. If he's out there, I would definitely pick him up, no questions asked. And again, remember, also use the running back strategy, guys. Pick up these running backs, these top handcuff backs, before the starter in front of them gets hurt, like Braylon Allen, the 1:00 game, Rico Dowdle, Kenneth Gainwell, Tyler Algier. These are all guys that I would definitely be looking to pick up, early on in slate this week, just because of the opportunity to get your hands on somebody before injuries strike. Now, here's the other thing. So Joe Burrow, has anybody actually dropped Joe Burrow? Because I do have him in one league, and he's just kind of taken up a bench spot, and I really don't want to keep holding on to him. Might have to make that decision at some point. He could come back in week 15. There will be rust. Like, I don't know what to do with him there. I think that's a conversation that you can have, whether or not it's worth dropping Joe Burrow, because somebody's going to pick him up, right? Somebody out there is going to pick up Joe Burrow if you drop him, and they're going to stick him on your bench, and you're going to be really pissed if you see him come back in week 15 and he lights it up for the last 3 weeks of the fantasy football season. So that's the risk you run there. I would pick up Woody Marks. As a matter of fact, I think that Tune or JCM, you got to go JCM. I actually like Woody Marks today. If he is available, I would pick him up, because I think that there's a fair to good chance Woody Marks by like week 6 is going to be the main guy on the Texans. I think that, there's Nick Chubb. I know he scored a touchdown last week, which is window dressing. I think he's not completely shot, but just, a shell of his former self. And I think it's only a matter of time before the Texans get him on the field. And the Texans, they got to win today, and they're in Jacksonville. It's going to be really hot. They can't protect CJ Stroud. And I've said this before, Bryce Young's coming off a 3-touchdown game. He has now made it a conversation again. The Panthers were absolutely destroyed when both of these guys were rookies, because CJ Stroud put up one of the best rookie performances ever at the quarterback position. And then last season, for certainly the first half, Stroud was playing better than Young again, but then they reversed it midway through last season to the end of the year. Young played really well. Stroud was awful. And now so far this year, Young has outplayed Stroud. I would not hold on to Mostert. No, I don't. I think he's completely done. Can I drop Travis Hunter? Yeah, I dropped him, Steve. I dropped him in the only league I have him. Pick up Daniel Jones off waivers to replace Joe Burrow. It's perfectly fine. I think, listen, Daniel Jones he's a top 12 guy, right? Right now he's a top 5 guy. He could be a top 12 guy because, again, the guys that run the football, like Daniel Jones does, he's run for over 700 yards in the season. He can be a top 10 guy. There's no question about it. So, I think Daniel Jones has been really good. And I like to see it. I really like Daniel Jones. He was very nice to me. I met him a number of times. Really friendly, just good with the fans, signed everything after practice and training camp. Like, just a good guy. I hated to see how he was treated at the end here. And this Giants team is just full of dysfunction. Front office, everything. His coaching staff, Joe Shane, they're going to be out the door by the end of the season. They should have already been out. But, I think that I'm really happy to see Daniel Jones, who won a road playoff game against Minnesota. He's got ability. He got happy feet in New York. He took a beating every week. But it's nice to see him turn things around. Ingram a drop, maybe a little too soon, but Adam Troutman's getting 60% of the snaps. I'd give it another week or so, John. But if you're in a pinch and you need to drop somebody, then yes, I would. And listen, when he initially signed with the Broncos, myself and everybody in the fantasy community were really excited. But then the more Sean Payton talked up Adam Troutman, and now he's playing him 60% of the snaps, like, that's a bad sign for Ingram. Joe Mixon, done. Don't even wait for him. Jones and Love after losing Burrow. I'm still going Love, even though Jones has been really good. I have Ertz. I would drop by the Mixon, Travis Hunter, fan in for Woody Marks. I would drop Mixon or Hunter. I mean, if you want to hold on to Mixon, that's fine. Travis Hunter, it's going to be very inconsistent from week to week because we don't know if he's going to play more receiver or if he's going to play more defensive back. That seems to be the issue there. So, but anyway, all right, guys, I just wanted to jump in and say hi to everybody. I'm going to end the stream here because I got a lot of stuff to do before 1 o'clock. And of course, have that notification bell hit, the subscriber button hit as well. Lots of stuff today, and I'm going to wrap up everything tonight. So stay tuned for that podcast. I will chat with all of you later. Good luck today. Take care, guys.